You wake up, and for a moment, there is nothing waiting for you. No alarm, no messages, no boss, no schedule. Just silence. And one question: what should I do today? Now imagine this wasn't a weekend fantasy. This was reality for almost 300,000 years of human existence. No jobs, no wages, no careers, no Monday morning. Just humans, living. And here's the shocking part. They might have had more free time than you do today. Modern humans spend roughly 90,000 hours of their lives working, about 1/3 of everything you will ever experience. But for most of human history, that idea simply didn't exist. So what did people actually do all day? Let's start with what anthropology shows us. In 1963, archaeologist Richard Lee studied the Dobju Hwansi people of Botswana, one of the closest living examples of pre-agricultural life. He discovered something unexpected. Adults spent only about 15 to 20 hours per week getting food. That's it. The rest of the time was not work time. It was lifetime. And this pattern repeats everywhere anthropologists look. The Hadza in Tanzania, the Ashe in Paraguay, the Martu in Australia. Different continents, different environments, same result. People weren't constantly struggling to survive. They were surviving efficiently. But how do we know ancient humans lived the same way? We don't just rely on modern hunter-gatherers. We look at bones. And the bones tell a clear story. Early farmers were shorter, more diseased, more cavities, more arthritis. Shorter lives, but older hunter-gatherer skeletons show something surprising. Stronger bodies, healthier teeth, less repetitive strain, better overall health. In other words, they didn't look like people trapped in constant labor. They looked like people who moved but were not crushed by work. And then comes the most unexpected evidence of all: art. In Chauvet Cave in France, 30,000-year-old paintings show horses, lions, and rhinos drawn with depth and movement. This wasn't survival. This was expression. Someone spent hours, maybe days, in darkness, painting animals on stone walls by firelight, not for food, for meaning. In Blombos Cave in South Africa, archaeologists found 100,000-year-old shell beads, tiny holes drilled into shells from 20 kilometers away. Someone walked 40 kilometers round trip, just for decoration, not survival, identity, beauty, expression. And in Germany, a 40,000-year-old flute made from a vulture bone shows something even deeper: music. Not hunting tools, not weapons, but rhythm, sound, creativity. So let's reconstruct a single day. You wake up at sunrise, fire still warm, food from yesterday is shared, breakfast is slow, social, human. Some days a group goes hunting or gathering, but not every day. If food is already available, you might not go anywhere at all. Instead, you repair tools, sharpen spears, weave baskets, fix hides. Not because someone demands it, but because skill matters. And life depends on skill. Hunting, when it happens, is not chaotic. It is controlled persistence, humans tracking animals for hours until exhaustion. Then comes food, shared by all. And by early afternoon, the necessary part of survival is often done. What happens next is what modern life struggles to understand. Nothing and everything. People rest, sit, talk, laugh, play, groom each other, share food, tell stories, make small objects, make meaning. Anthropologist studies show up to 6 hours a day spent purely in social life. Not productive, not scheduled, just human connection. Because in a world without money or systems, your survival depends on people, not systems, and at night something changes again. Around the fire, conversations shift from practical survival to stories, myths, humor, history, legends, explanations of the world. This is where culture begins. Not in books, not in cities, but in firelight conversations between people who had time to think. Sleep wasn't even the way we know it today. Humans often slept in 2 phases: 4 hours of sleep to 1 to 2 hours awake to 4 more hours of sleep. A quiet night split in half with reflection in between. So, the full cycle of life looked like this: 4 to 6 hours, food, plus tools, 6 hours, social life, 8 hours, sleep, split, rest, simply existing, not racing, not rushing, not optimizing, just living. Then everything changed. About 10,000 years ago, agriculture began, and it seemed like progress, but it came with a trap. More food meant more people meant more farming meant less freedom. Work increased, diet worsened, health declined, but there was no going back. And from that cycle came something new. Specialization, cities, systems, toolmakers, priests, soldiers, administrators, and eventually, jobs. A structure where your time no longer belonged to you. Today, you trade most of your waking life for survival inside that system. And somewhere along the way, something changed in how we see life itself. We call rest laziness. We call free time wasted time. We call constant work normal. But for most of human history, it wasn't. Your ancestors didn't wake up thinking about success. They already had what success promises: time, connection, presence, enoughness. They didn't wait for retirement to live. They were already living. And maybe the real question isn't, what did ancient humans do all day? But rather, when did we forget how to do it ourselves?